Hello and welcome to Philly Close Up. When stars come to Philly, we get you close up. And today I am joined by the dynamic duo, brother directing team, Josh and Jonathan Baker. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
First of all, saw the movie. It was amazing.
Love.
Completely unexpected amazing, though. So for the folks out there who maybe haven't seen a trailer, know nothing about this awesome movie, Ken, how would you describe it?
What we love about this movie is that it's multiple things. So it is a hard one to describe. But if I'm talking about plot, I would say this is about a young African-American boy that is adopted into a Polish-American family in Detroit. And it's about his brother coming out of prison and them really finding a relationship that they've never had before. He stumbles upon a alien device, technology, a weapon that is not from our world, and it gets kind of mixed up in some criminal enterprises and the family dynamic, and they go on the run with it.
I mean, the thing that I thought was really cool was that I even talked to some people like right after I saw the movie, didn't want to give them any spoilers or anything, but I'm just curious like who, had heard about it or seen any kind of trailers, and they didn't know it by name per se, but as soon as I mentioned really cool kid with the alien technology, they were like, oh yeah, I saw the trailer, I want to see it. I want to see it.
Yeah, we had really good trailer placement. We're on Avengers, so I'm pretty sure everyone saw it there.
Everyone in the world saw that one.
Pretty much.
Yeah, but what we love is, like I said, it is many different types of things, and it's our taste in cinema kind of all combined.
Right. So there's intimate character-based references all the way to giant sci-fi ideas, and I think from our side, why can't you have all that in the one movie? And that's what we wanted to make.
Well, you were very successful in
Thank
that
you,
regard.
man.
That's positive. I appreciate that.
Have you always had a love for like sci-fi films and?
Yeah, I think so. We grew up through the 80s, and I think there was a lot of big movies there that really influenced the way that we look at cinema. Okay. Movies from E.T. had a massive influence. I'm not going to say I cried, definitely. Everyone cried in E.T. That's kind of where we learned what our version of storytelling was, and this film has a lot of that wish fulfillment 80s influence on it.
Yeah. And then it has a lot of other things like crime drama and your more gritty, character-driven, more indie-feeling movies. And as we got older and as our tastes sort of opened up, I think a lot of those influences are put in Kin as well.
Right.
Yeah. And speaking of characters, dynamic cast. I mean, the cast is absolutely incredible and felt very much like family. It felt, it felt real. What was it like putting together the cast and getting
casting's
such cool
an interesting process. You don't want to write thinking of actors in mind. That's very dangerous because you probably are not going to get them.
You're going to get disappointed pretty quick.
We were very lucky to think of Zoe Kravitz from the beginning of this and actually managed to get her, which is brilliant. She has this level of cool that you can't fake, and that was perfect for this role. We wanted her to come in and just be smarter than both the guys and aim to bring them together.
But yet very warm. Like she brings this very sort of older sister, almost motherly kind of role to this very unconventional family on the road. Yeah. And again, that's what it's about. Like not just his family, but the family he creates in his life.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I thought was very cool. Not only did they kind of form their own family with Elijah and Millie and his brother, but also that these are multifaceted characters. These aren't characters that are just one thing.
Absolutely.
And it makes you feel more connected to them, I think, in a way.
We agree.
We've described it as they're all broken characters that are better together.
Yeah.
And you've got these two brothers, Jimmy and Eli, that really don't know each other, don't have much of a relationship, even though they've been in the same family for a while. One's been inside, and he just got out after a stint in jail for like 6-7 years. And you're kind of restarting your relationship and figuring out who you are.
And I think what else was important was a diverse group of characters, especially in that sort of dynamic on the road with Zoe Kravitz and Jack Rayner and Miles Truitt, all very different from each other in every way, but bringing them with whether it's experience or trauma or love, or, they're finding themselves and finding that family unit.
And Miles is a rock star. Like, he just brings this
He was
incredible
amazing, right?
energy on the
awesome.
screen. And also, I really appreciated having a story, about a young black boy who gets in a little bit of trouble, but you still view him as a kid, even though all this craziness kind of ensues
He's
throughout
not
the
perfect
film.
in any way, but we start him in a place where he's having some issues at school. He's lost his mother. He's obviously hearing this resentful kind of feedback from his father about his brother who's coming out of prison. And so he's in a very weird, turbulent kind of place in his life. He's never fully felt a sense of belonging.
Yeah.
And so that's where the character is really starting. And then we take him on a journey, a hero's journey, really, where he evolves greatly.
Yeah, I mean, it's about an outsider figuring out his belonging, where he belongs in the world.
His place, yeah.
No force is stronger than family, right?
That's what the poster says, ma'am.
That's what
the
it
poster
says on the poster.
I believe it. Yeah. No.
Well, family, what is it like working
Yeah.
with your brother, being creative together?
Great segue.
Yeah,
because-
amazing segue. It should not be a surprise that when we made this short film back in 2014 called Bagman, and it was set in Harlem. It was about an African American teen that finds this crazy alien space rifle. And then when we were thinking we got to turn this into a film, you got to dive into a 2-hour story here, and it's got to have a lot more legs than just this simple concept. And so we figured out pretty quickly that we wanted to tell a story about brothers and about family, and so that was kind of the organic leap from going from a short film to a feature.
And then working together as co-directors, obviously twin brothers. We've known each other for 39 years now, met in the womb. Boys back in the womb.
Yeah, boys.
So way
So
back.
it's great to sort of have a partner that has the same sort of taste as you and the same experiences as you, and you really create something together. And it is a 50-50 thing. Having your bro there that can have you back in a tense meeting, or take some of the pressure that it is making a Hollywood movie.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's a good way of working.
And balancing it all
totally.
out. I also appreciated the elements of technology, like
Cool.
seeing I'm the sister of like a comic book nerd and like sci-fi like appreciator.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just seeing all of that come together with also like a great storyline and characters that you love,
Great.
that was so cool. Like some of the scenes with the technology, I was like, oh my god.
I mean, we're setting up a small story about these intimate character relationships, but at the end of the day, we're also throwing this technology, science fiction base over the whole thing, and you got to have cool scenes with some cool tech, and the gun almost plays this character in the film itself, and where does it come from? So you got these guys coming back to try to get their weapon, and that involves a whole bunch of science fiction that you get to play with, which is really fun.
I think we've got some really unique visuals in there that's not just the tone of the movie and the mashup tone, but like even in the science fiction, there's a lot of things that we haven't seen before, and it was really exciting to create a relationship between Eli and this device that, similar to Frodo and the Ring in Lord of the Rings, almost like he doesn't know whether it's taking him down a bad path or not. He's kind of working it all out, and I don't think it is all good. I think a lot of the bad decisions that he makes in this film are because of this weapon. And ultimately, he has to decide, am I going to hold on to this thing or am I going to give it up?
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, that's the-
We can't tell them.
I'm not going into any more detail.
I don't know. You gotta
No
see it.
more. That's it. They have to go see it. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us
Thanks
today.
for having us.
Where can people follow you and keep up with all the awesome things you're doing?
We are on the gram and Twitter under Red Bike, Blue Bike. That references the first big gift that we got as kids was a red BMX and a blue BMX, and we couldn't get off of it.
That's our childhood right there.
Nostalgia.
So that is nostalgia in a nutshell.
And the movie comes out August
Yes.
31st in theaters and IMAX. So yeah,
Awesome.
you can check it out in a couple formats.
Well, guys, you heard it there. Ken comes out August 31st. You have to check this movie out. But that's all the time we have on My New Philly, where something is always new and everything is always Philly.